Musically.
Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all are having a fantastic week. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Hopefully you got to spend some time with your families or spend some time and reflect. So hopefully it's working out all good for you. So of course, I have a dynamic show lined up today. This guest might look a little familiar. I had to have him back because he is another dynamic. So we're going to chop it up. This is actually our last episode of 2023. I definitely have some dope stuff lined up for 2024. So stay tuned for that. So let me go ahead and bring Prince on. We're going to talk about standing on business. We're going to talk about love, life, relationships, the whole gamut. So let me go ahead and bring Prince on. Hey, Prince.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Hey, ain't that it? Every day. So what's been going on with you? Anything new?
A lot of things new, a lot of growth in my personal life, and just man, like peace. Really, I've been at peace, so everything's just been great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Same, same, same. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Look, here it is. Okay, look. Mama, thank you for watching. All right, I'm gonna shout
Hey,
you.
mama.
Hey, mama. All right, so let's get into this thing. Now, I know many of y'all have heard the whole concept of standing on business, right? We didn't heard it, we didn't seen it. It's been posted, it's viral. So let me ask you this, Prince. What the heck does standing on business mean to you?
To me,
Yes.
so I think I relate everything to personal. So I think everybody should. I think this is the time where everybody should really focus on self, see what self wants, see what self needs. So it really only applies to you. Um, Whatever business agendas that you have, whether it be personal business or relationship wise. I mean, and you know your flaws, you know your gifts, you know your curses. So the things that you know you need to stand on them, the things you need to stand on, the improvement aspects to just better self.
Mhm.
So that's how when somebody bring up standing on business to me, that's the first thing I think of. Things that I know I need to get better at to make me a better, you know what I'm saying, be the optimum me.
Mhm. Mhm. And I think that is so important. And especially look, with the new year come up, we all got maybe that's an overstatement. Some of us have New Year's resolutions, right?
Yeah, some people do it.
I just kind of just keep it to myself. I ain't gonna speak
I
too
just
much.
believe in improving when you see flaw.
Right.
Like sometimes that might not be overnight. Just because you say, oh, okay, I acknowledge this is a problem, that don't necessarily mean you got to figure it out. You know what I
That's true.
mean? But at the same time, that should be, as soon as you had that epiphany, that's when you supposed to go attack that, because those are things that are hindering you from being the best version of you.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, all right. So, how do you feel like this concept has like helped you with work, look, love, if you got that going, your kids? Like, how has that helped you?
so, so for me, if we making it personal, so for personally for me, it was more so making sure that I was in the right headspace so that I could be the best version of me to others, because I
Mhm.
care about people. So that's been the thing that I've been kind of focusing on, just being now that I got good with self, just being better to others. So the first person in line, the first people in line with that will be my kids, relationships with their mothers, just uh, really just in my career aspect, it's always going to be a part because I always want to make more money. So anytime you want to make more money, you want to learn more things. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Mhm.
So for me, it's just been it's been what it is. But I also see how other people view it, and what they view standing on business is too. So it's kind of funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was actually having a conversation like, okay, so because you're doing the work to be better, right? So like what advice do you have for like co-parents? Okay? Because I
Mm.
heard you mention that. So that they can improve those besides working on yourself, right? Because that's part of it.
Hmm.
What advice would you give people that co-parent? Like just to make it a good experience? Because truth be told,
Mm.
like, uh, I
It's
mean,
it's what I'm learning now is that it was really hard if I made it.
mhm,
So like personal feelings, all that, when you decide to end and you guys are really in it, and it's but that doesn't mean you end it. You just gotta look at things from a different lens now because you still parents.
mhm, mhm,
You gotta shut out all personal feelings.
mhm,
Like I feel like you have to, because at the end of the day, it's not about you as a family anymore. It's about you doing the best you can to raise a child. So like for me now, it's more so, okay, you just for, when you not in house,
mhm,
I'm learning you got to help way more
mhm,
than if you are in house.
mhm, mhm,
Um, you just do because you don't know. The don't know factor is, what I mean, is wide range. So you in this day, but you still living your life. You still going about your day. You still trying to handle business, but at the same time, you got a child that has his daily going on or her dailies going on, and you're not getting to witness a lot of the things. So you kind of like feel or should feel obligated to help more.
mhm, mhm.
So
Okay, so like now, how do you balance that? Say like, okay,
that's the hard part.
that just the balance. So say like both co-parents move on. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
doing the work, you working on self. Hopefully she's doing the work, she's working on self. Like, e- how do you find balance when y'all both then moved on? Like,
The hopefully
same
thing is that's
concept.
the part you got to X out.
Hmm.
The hopefully, hopefully they forget worrying about them at this point, because you still got to be your own entity moving forward, and you gotta take whatever they gave you and learn from it. Whatever your flaws were in the situation, I think those are the things you want to capitalize in if you ever get into a situation again. But again, if we say standing on business, and is what I plan on doing, is just putting that to the side for the moment and saying, I still, at the end of the day, the basics, I still got to care about your being, because my child is with you. So you got to be okay. I care about your mental health. I care about a lot of different things. And it's harder to do that when they not in your face for me. That's why I said that's hard. That's the hard part. Like when that person is not in your face and you zoomed in on what you zoomed in on, but at the same time they dealing with this life that you are not dealing with. So you got to be able to be understanding as well.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Now let me ask you this. So part of okay, so the concept of working on ourselves, working on self, right? Finding balance, right? Um, Part of that is also boundaries,
Yeah.
right? And I can say that I've had to learn boundaries over the years, right? I've had to because I ain't gonna lie to kick it. Yes, it probably in my 20s, teens, I was definitely a people pleaser, right? So no balance, no balance, no boundaries, no nothing like that, right? So what boundaries do you currently have when it comes to standing on business?
The only thing is, man, if you whatever you present yourself as, you got to be able to, you know what I mean, walk that walk. So if I don't feel like I'm able to walk that walk with you, I don't even play it. And I think that's where a lot of people get into that people pleasing, and men get into the people pleasing when it comes to like different aspects, or say they're a single man but they still talk to multiple people. For me, it's hard to talk to a lot of people. I don't got enough time.
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't got enough time to date three and four. I don't even have. I don't like. So just when you focused on different things and you trying to, when you say you trying to improve self, that means you gotta pay attention to self. You gotta pay attention to your habits, some of the things you do wrong, so that you can. Because obviously, if you're doing it right, don't change that. But if you got some things that you feel like you could be better at, those are the things you hound in on. And then I keep on saying this because it's relating to standing on business to me. Because at the end of the day, you cannot be who you are called to, or who you are supposed to be without understanding who you are.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't be the best man to a woman if I don't understand me. I
Hmm.
think I think a lot of people don't realize they go and choose
Hmm.
something that's out of their league because they ain't worked on self enough to build up to that level. They ain't even, so they capable, they acknowledge it, so that mean they capable, right? But at the same time, you ain't took that time.
Hmm.
I know it's hard, but shit, what in life isn't?
That's real. That's real. And this kind of coincides too with some of the stuff that we covered in a previous show about being able to work on yourself. Because when you're able to work on yourself, right, you're able to uncover some of them boundaries, right? Like, okay, so I'm learning this about myself. I'm learning that these are my triggers, these are my weaknesses, or whatever, right? So then in that, you're able to discover those boundaries, right? Which, you could apply self, family, friendships, love, work, everything. But because you have to have those boundaries across the board.
Balance.
It can't just be personal. It got to be professional life and everything. Now, a point that you made, because now that I'm back out chill, right? So I'm learning more and more like people's perspectives on dating and expectations and things of that sort. So one thing you mentioned is that you don't date multiple people at one time.
I
Did I hear
can't.
that right? Right.
I'm not good at it. Some people can do it. I don't say like I'm not saying that it to keep your options closed or keep them open, but me personally, like I don't. For one, as a man, I understand a woman requires time, not just time, but she also requires you to be thinking about her when you ain't spending the time,
Mhm, mhm,
and that's all the time, and that's fine because that's something. It's a good thing. It could be a great thing if it's intentional and it's real and it's organic. But some people do it to gain attention, and that's the scary part. And that's where you got a lot of women scared to even be their true selves because they done came in contact with a couple guys that thought they was ready for something they wasn't, and
mhm.
ultimately let you down. That's all it is. You just let down when something don't go your way.
That's real.
Um, but I don't know. For me, I just can't. I'm not good at it. Uh,
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I feel the same way. Like, I've always been a one man woman, right? And so it's just like, it just seems like, it seems like a lot to be dating more than one
man.
person at a time.
Well,
Like,
so I can go back. We can go down memory lane. I'll be like, dang. The first thing I always say is, I don't know how I did it.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Like, because I'll be like, what? You gotta care,
mhm,
and caring about multiple people is not that easy. If anybody that knows that cares about people, that is naturally a you know an acts of service type person, that is draining.
Mhm.
Cause you're going hard for everybody. You don't realize, and when you look down, you like, I ain't did nothing for self. I'm going hard for everybody. I'm giving everybody love. I'm giving everybody what I feel like they should have. And man, you gotta fill your own tank up. You got love on you.
That's real. That's real. So, like, what are some ways that you love on yourself?
So I got different little things, and they might not be big to you. Like anytime that I get to interact with people close to me, and it could be small. It could be just a get together where me and you cook dinner and laughed, and I take small things for big things not now. Because when you live in when you if you have ever lived in a fast paced lifestyle,
Mhm.
you didn't you didn't take in some of the serene moments where it was just your people that actually cared about you around.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those are the best moments for me right now. I'd be like, man, you got extra money. Where are you going? What you doing? I'd be like, man, what is we doing? What is me and you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I enjoy people for real.
Mhm.
Um, so where's we going? Right? Like I want to see different things. I want to experience different things in different ways because I'm a different being. And as long as you can wake up and say, I acknowledge my flaws, because to go back to what you was talking about before, it's about being accountable.
Mhm.
And so, like as a man that's been in situations where I made unconscious decisions where I look back like, why did I make that decision? I didn't think about it. Right
Mhm. Mhm.
now, everything is intentional.
That
Like
makes
because you see, you like, yeah, I made that decision. And you don't even agree with it. Have you ever been in a situation where you made a decision and your actions showed that decision, but you don't even agree with it? That's the most uncomfortable position you could be in for me because I can't explain myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like,
Right. Hmm.
uh,
Okay. All right. So let's see here. So like I would say like even I'm just gonna say this time of year. Like I know that, I'm personally struggling with some things, right? It's just a lot going on, like emotionally, just
yeah.
all kind of things. And
Mhm.
I like what you said about, pretty much I'm paraphrasing, valuing the people, your people, right? Because they're not gonna be here forever, right? Um, so what advice would you give someone who's just like really struggling? Like because let's just be real, like when you are not centered, when you are not above ground, above level, it's hard to for me, I'm just speaking on me and maybe some others too. It's hard to stand on business. It's hard to prioritize. It's hard to balance. Like so like what's the number one advice you would give someone struggling with that?
To just really, sometimes you got to simplify things that seem complex. And so for me,
Mhm.
because your brain can tell you a lot, right? Can tell you a lot, but you ain't listening to everything your mind spit at you. All right, that's people for the most part with anxiety deal with those type of issues. They can't quiet their brain.
Mhm.
Right. For me, I can get to the point where I go, okay, everything. It could be a storm around me, but I can't name the top three things that I need to accomplish for that moment. All right. And for one, it's just to breathe. Second, to give thanks, and then third, after you get to that point, you should be able to acknowledge the good things that's around you and
Mhm.
put some positivity in yourself. Like in my weakest moments, that's what I do.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I always tell people you're gonna have weak moments. It's just if somebody's telling you, and I don't care, you got billionaires, millionaires, you got a lot of people going through a lot of things though,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
all about what I'm saying, what you doing in here. So if the world gonna beat you up, you definitely can't beat against self.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Like the world, you're not gonna be the prettiest to everybody. You're not gonna be the smartest to everybody. You're not gonna be the best. We're not gonna be the best hosts or co-hosts to shows. We're not gonna be the optimum us without being able to realize who we are and how we could be the best piece on that board.
Mhm. That makes sense. That makes sense. So we have a couple of comments. Let's see here. Know thyself, right? That's important. You
Man,
gotta know
it's
your
it's
abs-
very important for me because I couldn't even be who I wanted to be without understanding me. So,
mhm,
prime example, I use this because this is about relationship. This is about not just personal, but other aspects. Like you, you learn as a man when you're doing things unconsciously that intentions mean nothing.
mhm, mhm,
You get anybody that ever hurts you, right? That you can say hurt my feelings, and you put them in a room by themselves, and somebody asks, "Did you try to hurt their feelings?" They gonna say no.
mhm, mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Hopefully, right? We talking
Mm,
about some normal
really?
people, right? Right,
Listen.
but we talking about people who got some sense, right, and who understand who are accountable with self, right? They gonna say no, this that and the third, and pretty much it's gonna force them to be accountable. And one thing that I don't want to do anymore is break no one's heart.
Mhm, mhm.
That's like ultimate failure for me right now because now that I understand it, not to get spiritual, but now that I understand it, I feel like when you break someone's heart, you break their spirit, and the spirit comes directly from our creator, and we're going directly against God. No matter how you do it.
Mhm.
Like when you break someone's spirit, you're going directly against God. That's and I since then I can want to say something crazy to you and I can hold it in because I don't know how you gonna take that. You get on my nerves too much, I'll block you. It's okay to block people. It's a good causes for blocking. It's good causes for blocking. You know what I mean? Because you can't let nobody get you out of your element to where you are being something you don't want to be or saying
Mhm.
something you don't want to say or you don't mean. I don't want to tell nobody I really really care about fuck them.
Right,
No, I
right.
really care about you. You just got me bent right now, and I need to process it and come up with a different way to express how I'm feeling right now. But at the end of the day, I care about you.
Definitely.
Not that hard.
It's just like how okay, so it's like how I mean, I know it takes work to get there, but like
Oh
how do you
man, what?
get to that point? Like because okay, can I say most of the
Make
time
mistakes, wisdom.
that's real. That's real. That's real.
Wisdom comes from making a mistake
That's true.
or processing something wrong and then you know what I mean, revising it. Like, whoa, okay, I understand now.
Mhm.
Like wisdom, you just gotta live sometimes. That's why I feel like people who and like it's gonna sound crazy, man. And we all be fantasizing about these 45-year-old women, these Angela Bassett's and all of these women know what they want,
Mhm.
know what they can handle, and know what they can't handle because they done already been through the bullshit.
Mhm.
So them the ones you can't run up on saying anything and not
That's
being consistent
that's real.
and not being a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Like you them the ones you can't run up on wrong.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, they spot you from a mile away. They
Like,
won't.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, just wise.
absolutely. Okay, so we got some comments. Let's see what's going on here. What's up, Pete? What's up, Maurice?
Man, you
What's
know I
up?
like him.
He's amazing, ain't he?
Yeah, I
Let
like
me
him.
well
Now
that
you just
brother.
got some sense, man. You know, it's sad you gotta appreciate a black man with some with some sense right now.
Listening. There's so many people running around sheep and sleep, right? Like, but yeah, Maurice, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's see here. What's up, love ourselves? Oh, what's going on, Steve? How are you? I hope you and your family are good, 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 good. Okay, I see that's Tammy. Greetings. What's up, Tammy? All right, so let's see here. Now we have another one. In times of trouble, tribulations, we must give ourselves the space to go through the ebbs and flows of life. Absolutely. And I think that's important too. Like I've been doing a lot of reading and different stuff like that. And actually one of the books I'm going to talk about, on a future show. But it's like just the whole idea in this journey of knowing yourself, knowledge of self, all of that. One thing that I struggled with was giving myself grace, right? It's just like I'm I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need the closure. I mentioned this last week. I can forgive you. I can move on, but forgiving myself, like, and that's why I value conversations with my divine connections. You included because that's a constant work in progress. Is being able to extend the same way that you might treat, approach somebody else, and giving yourself that. So I just,
Given so the thing with that is that's you can't move forward without that.
that's
You
real.
could find anybody on earth, somebody wronged them.
Absolutely.
Are you going to let that dictate the pace of your future? A lot of people have. Let's be honest, right? You know what I mean? We unconsciously make mistakes, and it's okay as long as you made it and recovered from it, right? Because that's proof, right, that you cover. But when you go through different things and you understand the whys of it, most of the time you can pick out where you played your part.
That's
So
real.
you can't say you are the founder of your own issues
Hmm. Hmm.
because it's all about how you process it. So I
Hmm.
mean, I think that's one of the greatest things I understand. The greatest things that I've learned in this journey is being able to process things in a way that fits me, that motivates me to continue to be better.
That makes
But
sense.
that's the thing, it's a self thing. That's what everybody should try to strive for within self because my issues might be your strengths. And so it's constant because we grow and we learn through experience, but at the same time things change around us and we just adapting and trying to figure self but really don't have time for self. If you're on the grind, man, if you on a road chasing a goal, dream or anything, you ain't really got time.
That's real. And how do you make time? Because you got to. You
But
have
that's what
to.
the old folks use the time for the retirement time for. They
We don't
went
want to
hard
wait
till they
that
was 60
long.
some years old, then retired and was like, man, I ain't moving a toe. Because I've been going hard for
You know what? That's so real. Let me tell you something. Because okay, so my daddy, rest his beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul. He retired at 50. 50 years old. He retired. He
yeah,
worked, and he said, "You know what? When I retire, I'm not doing nothing. Like,
yeah,
and he really lived his years like chilling, growing, everything. Which my father, of course, I got to give him his spiritual flowers. He was very wise, right? And
mm,
he always believed in learning lessons, growth, and different things like that. But just to, you know, um, address your point, you know, it is the older community that seems to do that, right? Which is cool,
they learn.
right? How do we like duplicate that in your youth though? Like, why
Right now,
wait till we.
it's hard right now because of the different influences and the different times have different things that attack them.
That's
Right
true.
now, the things that attack um, our youth is, I'll say, unsolid foundations and the things that they see to be okay.
Hmm.
So, what I mean? The kids process things and they, like I said, they take it all in, they sponge it in, and then they try to put what they think they learned out to the earth. But what if what they put in and learned out to the earth was Cardi B? No disrespect to Cardi B.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
She don't enunciate her words. All right. Everybody look at her and say she's beautiful. She is pretty to me.
Oh,
But
she's gorgeous.
I pay attention to different things. I like a person to be able to be articulate, that can read a book and ain't gonna be like, huh? Like, but still got that huh in them. Right? That don't mean it can't got it got, but it is a place to show certain different cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I'm not always. You can catch me in professional mode. You can catch me in pops mode. You can catch me in where I'm with the guys. We talking shit, right? But at the same time, it's an appropriate place for everything. So when you got a lot of different eyes on you, I believe that's why they say, hey, to whom much is given, much is required.
Hmm. Hmm. That's real. That's real. Huh. That's real. Hmm. Now, hold on. Let me ask you this. This is kind of all right, because you know how we do. Now, okay. So in the group today, I posted right, and I love everybody's perspective. Definitely the male's perspective, right? I'm a woman. I want to know what y'all thinking, right?
Uh,
So okay, so that post about ranking what a man looks for in a woman,
I was
right?
just
Because
looking for that. I was just looking for that.
let me tell you something, because see, I've been conversing. Listen, I done had some conversations, right? And
We gotta
it's
go to that.
crazy. What was that, Prince?
And we gotta go to that. I
We got
want. I definitely wanted to. Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. So you personally, we just gonna go off of you because I know conversations that I've had, and I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna put it out there, right? So
Okay.
what how do you rank what you look for in a woman? You know
I'm.
what I mean?
I'm
Like a
trying.
potential.
So it was different than when it was different previously than it is now. So for me, I think I put number one is how they make me feel, and
Hmm.
how because that is a good feeling from a man when a woman make you feel like you want to run out and do something to make her smile for no
Hmm.
damn reason. That's a good feeling, man. When you're in
Hmm.
the process of doing it, it's a good feeling. Any man that done something for their woman, you feel good about that shit. You that wasn't it wasn't no let me just do something to shut up. Nah. If I'm spending something I worked hard for, I care. But it that was one for me, how they made me feel. I think my least favorite was shape, body shape. So I kind of like, so me personally, just me personally,
Hmm.
things that can change, I'm not, there are going to change. I'm not trying to control what I can't control. I, you know what I'm saying? But I am a sapiosexual, so I am attracted to mindsets. Your mind, for me, I need your mind.
That
Uh,
makes sense.
So
That
that's the shape and all that probably would be last for me because if I'm trying to do some chapters with you, something's gonna go up and down, right? Yeah, I mean,
That's real. So for those that are not in a group, okay, so we have quite a few people that are watching that are in the group, right? So
mm,
um, like the choices were her career, how much money she makes, education level, looks, shape, homemaking skills, how she makes you feel appreciated and respected. Number 7 was positive personality mindset. Number 8 was feminine, pleasant, classy attitude, demeanor, and number 9 was willing to please you sexually. Now, what
oh,
I found, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I just told a fib live. My least
Don't be lying and
once you
get
just
on the
read them
group.
out, once you just read them out, my least was homemaking skills.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. See, that's
Mhm.
changed over the generations, right?
Yeah, because I was raised by a woman, so I know how to clean, I know how to cook, I know how to do all that shit. I could make a house look like a woman decorated it. It's gonna smell good and all that instant, all that I got all that from a woman. At the
Mhm.
same time, so I don't. So for me, I don't need you to do all that. Now, if
That
you
makes
do it, now we compliment each other. Cool. It's all right. Cool. Well, I don't need that. That's not top.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Hold on. So Michael Kelly says, I think it's different for age groups or experience level, Lisa.
Facts.
I can see that. Facts. Facts. Absolutely.
Because if I don't see nothing wrong with it, and then you gotta also think I done watched my grandmother build a deck,
Mhm,
and if she ain't care about them heels, and she probably could dribble a ball in some heels.
mhm, mhm.
So
Well,
like, yeah, like I think women is superheroes, so I try to be a superhero. I try to emulate that.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, what's crazy, Prince, is like I noticed that a lot of the responses were the least thing that men are concerned with is how much money she makes and her career. Like, I mean, that was like in the bottom 3 for a lot, you know. And I found that interesting because in having different conversations with, various men or whatever, it just seems like, man, one thing I've heard, man, men don't care about how much money a woman make. Women make a big deal about their careers and money. We don't really care about that. What do you think, Prince? Like, do y'all not care about us getting the bag and the career? Y'all don't care about that?
I
Is
think a
that
man.
us?
I think. I think. I think we trying to drive you to get to the bag, or and if you already at the bag, we trying to get you to get to a bigger bag, as you should be doing to me. You should, just because just be yeah, we got. I don't know. I think about generational wealth now instead of just me being wealthy, and I'm like, whoa. I wish I was thinking like this way younger, right? But so like for me personally, her bag probably was important to me when I was younger.
Mm.
If I'm being honest, like my girl make this, and so if you ask me if you know, what I mean, if I'm single now, but if, if you ask me about my woman and her career, I'm like, oh, she does well. I ain't really tripping. That ain't going. That is not the first thing that's gonna pop off of my mouth of me bragging about my woman. Most of the thing I'm gonna brag about is something like how she interact with my family, or how she interact with my kids, or how she, you know what I'm saying, like. Them the first things that gonna come to mind. What? How does she make me feel to the with the things that's near and dear to me?
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Different people go looking for different people for different things. Like I'm not trying to find peace out of nobody. I'm trying to find somebody that add to it or make me just feel. Yeah, and you got to give that in order to receive. But at the same time, man, that's a good feeling when you got a woman that full
It's only
fledged just want to see you smile, just like you want to see us smile.
that's an excellent point that you made when you said, "Look, I'm paraphrasing. You already gonna have that, and she should pretty much just compliment that, right?" And I
Yeah,
think that's really important because, for me, I don't want nobody to make me happy. I'm already coming into it doing the work and as happy as I can be. So it's important, just that whole compliment piece, right? Um, it-
but people gotta be transparent.
listen,
If I meet you and I know for a fact I'm in a phase where I'm trying to understand a part about me that I know could hinder our relationship, shit, I might need to say that first, motherfucker. As soon as we acknowledge that we feel each other, let me know what I'm dealing with. I'll let you know what you know what I'm saying? You let me know what I'm dealing with. I'll let you know what you're dealing with. It ain't necessarily a bad thing. I think people be so motherfucking scared to be vulnerable, man. Like, and I'll be honest with you, it ain't always safe to be vulnerable, but damn.
right?
When some things if you say you want them, you have to be vulnerable. If I say I want to be a husband, I gotta be vulnerable. If I say I want to be, you know what I mean, you just gotta open up to something or somebody, and your woman is supposed to be that.
That's real, and I'm glad that you brought that to the forefront because the truth of the matter is it's hard to know what you should say and what you shouldn't say, right? Because to this day, I'm still not going to be talking about, because I get the question, man, you got divorced. Why are you divorced? But I don't really feel like I want to talk about it, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because I've
man.
always heard too, like, yo, you going into your next situation, you should never blow up the negative stuff from nothing from your past. In fact, you probably really shouldn't talk about nothing from your past. But one of the books that I'm reading is like, this brother's saying, which I'm gonna get into it, in the future show, but he's like, yo, because I want my woman to know me, my mate, my significant
I,
other, to
I
me,
talk about it,
I gotta divulge my past. I gotta divulge that stuff. So like how do you determine what you tell and what you don't? What you
and
like
here's the thing.
to
Here's the thing, man. I gotta put this out. I'm glad you just said that.
mhm,
For any woman watching this,
mhm, mhm,
worst thing you can do to a man is take the thing that he holds near and dear to his heart and treat it as nothing and throw it in the atmosphere on a social site in his face
mhm,
to make him feel away.
mhm.
That is not what you want to do to a person you consider a life partner as when it comes to a male because we hate it. First of all, being vulnerable is not something that we was taught to be.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Like I mean, well, I'll speak for myself. I wasn't taught to be vulnerable. I wasn't. I was taught to be guarded. I was taught to protect self. I was taught to pay attention, right? And most of the things that taught me hurt me, right? So if I wanted or someone real bad and I didn't get it, and I didn't see a reason why, that I was disappointed, right? That can trigger me to not really be so quick to bring someone in
Mhm, mhm.
at a later if I didn't process that correctly. You know what I'm saying? So like now you definitely You got to be vulnerable though. So that's the catch. That's the you got. I got to be able to express some personal things to you and trust that they are gonna stay safe with you.
Mhm,
I don't care if you mad. I don't care if I made you pissed off to your highest pistivity.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Your self control better go. You know what? I love him. That ain't gonna come off my lip. And man, that's where women don't give a care nowadays. They try
Listen.
and they try and cut you, and then they be wondering like, are you just gonna leave like that? Yeah, that hurt. Just like whenever I did whatever, if I did anything to hurt you, you got a right to feel that way. I so do I. But I ain't about to be mad. And we just had a situation. What was that? New Year's Eve, man. You know what
Mhm,
I'm saying? Well, dude killed his woman.
mhm,
Why,
mhm.
bro? Why, bro? I'm not that mad. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when I used to get mad and little shit that I look at now when I see people like, um, and I'm guilty where you in a heated argument, you yelling, and next thing you know, you full fledged hollering like, nah, I don't need to do that no more.
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm,
ain't that motherfucking mad, bro. Like I'm just not.
mhm, mhm.
And I think that was really a big epiphany. Like for me, like I'm not that man. It's not for me. Certain shit ain't that serious.
That's real. That's
I
real.
ain't trying to hurt you to the point where you don't trust me no more. You definitely shouldn't be trying to do that to me because now that them the hardest things to break. Them the hardest things to recover from.
Absolutely. This comment section is blowing up. Let's go ahead and holler at some of our listeners right quick. Let's see what we got here. Let me start from the bottom up, right? Okay, so Michael Kelly says, one thing I've learned is that emotional intelligence is very necessary.
Whew, that shit ain't easy to
Listen,
gain either.
it's not. And that comes with the getting to know yourself piece, learning those lessons and doing the work because that emotional intelligence is gold and that's going to help carry you, in various relationships. So Brian says, you can't tell everybody everything, only in time. When you build up trust with each other, then you share more personal things about your life.
I agree with that.
Mhm, mhm.
Everybody don't deserve every aspect of you, but it's up to you to be in the right frame of mind. And I ain't gonna lie, you know what I mean? You gotta be walking within a divine essence because just like there are good spirits that come into your life, there are bad ones, and it's up to you to decide which ones to X out and bring near.
That's real.
As
That's
we
real.
know, that's not the easiest thing to do because the devil can sing and smell good too.
Yeah, and actually, not trying to get all religious or spiritual on nobody.
Yeah, go ahead, because I think you're gonna say what I know.
The devil wasn't
Right?
no ugly thing, right?
Yeah,
So of course the devil ain't
he was that dude. Really?
absolutely he gonna come with that shining carrot. Like, you know what? This carrot is shiny, but this ain't really it. He's gonna be very crafty, and that's when your discernment, you have to have that discernment. So let's see
Yeah.
what else we got here. Okay, so someone else says, Kelly says, it is true that there are a lot of married men that don't talk with his mate because he doesn't trust her with the information or don't receive it in a respectful manner. Is that true? I can say that can be true. I've had conversations just over the years in the soup or just, acquaintances, friends, or whatever, that some married people feel that they cannot trust their mate. My guess is maybe it has gotten to a point where they feel like they can't trust each other. They're not in a good place, and it can definitely happen. What you think about that, Prince? Because it can happen in a relationship too.
So for me, that's of high importance to me. I need to be able to talk to you. So like because like one thing I learned that like I used to get silent
Hmm.
and like I never got what I felt out. Everybody else got what they felt out, and I didn't agree with it, but I tried to make them happy. I'm not in that space no more. We need to have a mutual win. Like so for me, like no, we need to have a mutual win. We just
It's like, how do you keep that? How do you keep that energy? Because in the beginning and, leading up to that point where there's no trust in certain, how do you keep that momentum where you stay that safe place for that person?
You
Is
ain't
there
never heard nobody. You ain't never heard no older person say loving you is daily. Dealing with you is momentary.
mm, okay.
If somebody could just bust out and be like, "Man, fuck you," and be gone for real, you was a momentary ass person to them, no matter what you felt for them. So like, man, no, like I need to be able to talk to my. I need to be able to talk to my woman. Hey, hold on. I know you shitty about today. I know you shitty about a lot of different shit. Hold on, we gotta talk, and then we should be able to talk. And then, all right, now what? Now what I do? All right, I go. I gotta be able to communicate. And is that's a no. That's a deal breaker for me right now.
Absolutely. And I think that's key what you said, just to be able to come back, because let's just be real. Some of us have been single, right? We've lived single, so we kind of have that single mentality like, yo, F it, I'm done. I'm gonna go on
Mm-hmm.
ahead, go back into my corner, go back into, my peace. But in a relationship with someone that you really care about, you have to be willing to have those conversations and communicate even after y'all done fell out, right? That helps to.
See, that ain't never been me. So that's why I said, them things you look back and be like, how did you even have multiple women? I've always cared too much. I've
Mhm,
always cared too much. I've always been a little lover boy. I've always been one of them type of people that do extra things. So me out of stock, out of my mother, was not meant for multiple women. So I was going against self from the jump.
absolutely, absolutely. So Kelly G says vulnerability comes with trust.
Mm. And that shit right there, that's it. And we could speak all this all night.
Mhm,
But it
mhm,
ain't necessarily easy to just be like, all right, I'm feeling this person. They give me the good vibes, but let me just be vulnerable. Everything about out here and what we see and what we read on the socials and what we see on the news tell you to stay away from people. It's
that's true.
what it is. Like, you know what I mean? You can see on here, it's this bad where you could be looking on your, I mean, you ain't your comfortable in your own home and you looking at your phone and you see mess.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
You done told her you was single. Now you done posted with your wife. Now you done just like, bruh, like it just like I don't want to see that. I start unfollowing everybody.
Listen, okay, now hold on to that, because hey, y'all, I promise we're gonna get to y'all comments because we still got a little time. So Prince, okay, so when you say that, so okay, say you get booed up. When you get booed up, like what? And I, because I posted something similar to that in the group. Like, what are your boundaries when it comes to when you get booed up? You get into a committed relationship where you like, this is my one with social media, because we know social media, although it shouldn't be as
It kills
powerful,
relationship.
it can kill your relationship, right? So, like, you personally, like, what boundaries do you put in place? I know you said you just be like, block, I'm done, whatever, right?
Well, not all the time. Block. I'm done. Meaning I never got to that point where I built a connection with you. The
Hmm.
hard part for me is once I build a connection with you is actually disconnecting. That's always been my weakest thing. So, like with the social though, as far as the boundaries aspect for me is just I don't care what we going through.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't care what you know. What I mean, as long as it's not unethical and moral or something like that, and we can make some sense. I ain't never gonna speak ill of you or speak about nothing about our personal business and nothing on social. And I don't feel like you should too. That's my safe place, home and you.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right, so I should never feel like that's what you know what I mean. That's I should never feel like, and that might be the street aspect of me. You know what I mean. I have been in that category before, but as far as that's what you want to be able to. When I go to sleep, I want to be able to sleep, not have one eye open looking at you, because
Hmm.
I'm gonna go. You like, you don't never spend a night. No, because I feel like I need to be away. I need to
Hmm.
be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you call home, home. If your woman is a part of that home, she's a part of that safe place. I feel safe as hell. I don't care what just happened outside them doors. When I'm in there, I'm Gucci.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so let's see here. So Marie says men care less about a woman's dividends and more about a woman's femininity.
Mm.
That's real. That's real. Brian says how much she makes is is a concern, but it's not a priority. It
Mhm.
depends on what you put on the list. All right, I believe this was Jason. Jason says mental connection is a strong determining factor in how strong a relationship will become. It almost cancels out what we think matters most.
I agree.
Mhm. Okay, that makes sense.
I agree.
Let's see. We going No, that was actually April. My fault, April. Let me give April her kudos. Thank you for that, April. So Marie says, what would Derek Jackson and Steve Harvey say? What was the other brother? Rest his soul. Kevin. What would Kevin say? 'Cause that's when we were
Mm,
talking about the list. When we were talking about, the list and, I don't know
I
what they
mean, I went through and looked at the comments. There was a lot of people putting a lot of stuff up,
mm,
and it made me want to ask them their age because I feel like it's a sharp decline in certain things when it comes with age.
that's
Uh,
real. That's real.
because you start realizing, like, bro, I ain't never like it's about what can keep me, and I know for a fact a body won't keep me. I know for a fact your sex won't keep me.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? And this is just me speaking. Only thing that's really gonna keep me is if you get me right here. That's the
That's
only thing you could do to keep me.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's just for me. That's personal. Like for me, like I just know that I know that about myself now, so I don't play with myself. I'll be seeing stuff like, man, I do the same thing you do, fellas. It's, man, she cool, but I couldn't deal with that. I'm not even gonna
Mm, listen. And you know what? I think that can be the same for some women too, right? Because of course,
try.
social
Gotta be.
media gonna say, "Oh man, he got to have money and all that stuff," right? I ain't gonna lie to kick it. We need money to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Facts.
I ain't even gonna go into too much detail because he might be watching. But like, I'm not impressed. Like this cat spent like I don't know, 50, 11 minutes talking about a watch.
Fifty
Listen,
love mom, huh?
listen, and it wasn't nothing against him, but it's just like I'm like, it's just a watch. I mean, a very pricey watch, right? But it's just a watch. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, yo, what what else? Like, where's your consciousness? Where's your spirituality? Can you think?
Who
Can you
are you?
imagine me here? Right? Who are you? Right? So I think it can be like that for some women too, especially if you're doing the work, you know. You want more. I mean, the money good, you got it. Hey, that's the icing on the cake. But what else is to you, right? Because that's not gonna keep me either. You feel me? Like
I gotta be able to add to you anyway.
absolutely,
So if
absolutely,
everybody thought like that, it'd be a positive situation.
definitely, definitely. Okay, so Jason says your youth is used to gather information. As you grow, learn to apply the information that you've gathered in your older age, you can then elevate your standards of living off the information that you've gathered. And the pinnacle is to be able to teach others. That's deep. That's deep.
So ultimately, reach back because that's what's not happening right now. We ain't reaching back. Let me be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And now our kids are emotional, horny, don't know what to think. Individuals trying to find a place. You got you got 13-year-old boys posting more guns than army veterans,
Mhm.
and it's like, why? Why you want a gun? Does it give you power? Does it really give you power? You understand that? Like, cause I like guns, but I like them for might be a different reason than you. You know what I'm saying? My thought process when I wake up on a day to day is not non-violent at all. So, but that is theirs. You know what I'm saying? To every response, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So even talking to some of these kids, man, some of these teenagers, man, they just lost, and it's just because we ain't reaching back.
That's true. And was that Jason? Jason talked about that during his time on the show. And that is so important to reach back. And it's like, why aren't we doing it? Are we that distracted? Well, I'll just say some of us. Why aren't some of us doing it? Is it the distractions? Is it that some people have become so selfish? Like, Why did that stop? Because probably a lot of us, we had those elders instilling and planting seeds in us. I can say I have, right?
Mhm.
So it's just like, what happened? Like where was the stop with
I
that?
think it was just more. It's a lot involved in that, right? So you got perception, man. Some people got shown love their whole life, but they didn't acknowledge it, so they didn't understand it. All right. So and that goes into that's a whole nother show for that, right?
Oh,
But but ultimately, you know that they came over to each one teach one, and everybody was screaming and hollering, and right. But I don't think nobody really thought about what that really meant.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Right, because I think I was talking to my cousin and we are like, all right, if 10 billionaires, 10 black billionaires got together right now and and bought a city
mhm.
and and built it towards the, the restructuring and reinventing the thought process of a black man, that would be like an act of war. I don't think people would realize that that would be like an act of war.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm,
Like I mean, at the end of the day, different people's thought processes is powerful and can be and proven to be motivating, and everybody follows.
that's true. That's true. Let's see here. So Jason said, and we're gonna wrap this up here in a little
And
bit.
yes,
You
have a
gotta
great
know yourself to grow yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Then Lawrence, greetings from Missouri. Hey Lawrence. Hey L Boogie. Thanks for listening. Okay, so we got a few things. Let's see here. Okay. So here we are. Lack of communication is definitely a deal breaker. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to be willing to communicate. You have to. You have to.
and look, when somebody asks you a question, you be like, "Man, I'm gonna get in my business." You gotta stop yourself right when you say that, because
Absolutely.
you gotta. Because I'm guilty too. It's you know what? What did we say our intentions was? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, are you showing me? Because the person gonna show you what they want, really, for real.
That's true. And that's a good point because you have to ask questions. And it is true. Sometimes stuff can be intrusive and you be like, wait a minute. Right. But I mean, that helps to establish the trust so that you both can become vulnerable and maintain that safe space and all that. All right. So mending happens when the tough conversations are had. You know what? Maybe that could be the answer to that whole marriage piece or that whole relationship piece when people feel like, they ain't my safe space no more. I can't talk to them no more, right? Maybe you
But
gotta have those hard conversations.
yeah, yeah, some situation, yeah. But no, that's our issue. Everybody's so quick to leave.
Quick
Uh,
to leave.
I'm not that mad. You just hurt my feelings a little bit. Depending on what you did. You know what I'm saying? Some things is easier to forgive than others. I ain't saying that, but we just overall at that point where everybody know that it's easier. It's easier to just skip around town as opposed to stay locked and loyal and loaded.
That's real. That's real. Hmm.
You just don't get no peace and no happiness out of it.
That's true. And then you just end up with a whole bunch of temporary situations because you're going to repeat that pattern because obviously it's a reason why you feel like that. Maybe it's because you are picking the wrong person. But if you do the work, hopefully you'll be able to attract that right person and break that pattern. So Kelly says, I'm not easily impressed and stuff definitely don't impress me. Definitely, right? I mean, and I'm not knocking it for the brothers that got it or the sisters that got it. I mean, stuff is cool, right? I ain't gonna lie. I mean, hey, stuff is cool. But for
Man,
me,
listen.
it's not
It,
everything.
I believe women and men choose.
You see,
Ain't nobody just say any old thing to you. You say, okay, that's fine. No, I choose you or I don't. Same thing with you. You looking like you sound like the last three.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, absolutely. Let's see here. So Michael Kelly says, also, I feel people want shortcuts. I know because I did too. Got to put in the work. pay your dues. That's real. I mean, we are in a microwave society. Like people don't want to they don't want to make it from scratch. They want to start from scratch. We want shortcuts. We want it now. It's a microwave cookie cutter world that we're living in, unfortunately. And it's self-serving in some ways too, right? Because it's become transactional. So that's real. That's real. Hmm.
So you standing on
Say that again.
business?
That's it. Hey, I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on it in all aspects, right? And it's a continual work. You hear me? It's a continual work to stand on it, right?
For sure.
Well, all right. So that's all we got for today. That's all we have for today. So any words for the people? Any last words for the people?
I think that man. The last word and that kept being said over and over. Self. I heard self almost throughout the whole show.
Hmm.
Man, I promise you, if you get to know self, you won't even put yourself in a position to even be around people that you know you can't be with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll get that discernment so you can continue to get it right time after time. Okay, here comes somebody right quick. Hold on, let's see here. People don't want to build lasting relationships. They want
That air fryer, the
air fryer
devil, man.
love. That air fryer love. No.
That air fryer, the devil, man. Why cook stuff to work back? It make stuff brand new. All right.
Look, I almost got out of the pandemic without an air fryer. I had went to like one of them stores. Listen, I didn't have a air fryer the whole time. And then I went to the store and I
Man,
was like, oh, let me get one of these things. Then it
nah,
comes out that they're not even good for you. Like I guess the
they
Teflon.
not. They not. Anything quick ain't good for you. You ain't realize that
Thank you for that comment.
shit?
But I was about to bust these bars and these octaves for you, but I ain't gonna do it.
Oh
Listen, that's another show, Prince. We should collab, right? We could do. Hey,
man,
listen.
what? I'd be done showed y'all on some Ken Eric Bellinger or something
Hey,
like
listen. I
that.
don't want to be
Not
just Whitney Houston. I can't sing, y'all. I can't sing.
okay.
All right, so let me go ahead and get into it. Let me give the spiel. So thank you all for listening. Thank you, Aunt Anna. Thank you, everybody. Mama, we're gonna shout you out again. But if you are watching us on YouTube, please like it, right? Like it, share it, subscribe, right? So it's Relationship Soup, period. Gotta put the period on there. And then on Facebook, you can find us at Relationship Soup Group and Relationship Soup LLC. So I guess my final words are going to be, hold on. Marie says, I got a beat for you, Lisa. Listen, because he's the one that did the whole theme song, right? He did this
Yeah.
Relationship Soup podcast theme song. Hey,
I
Maurice,
just wrote something the other day. You might be in luck. You know what I'm saying?
listen, let's collab. Let's collab. Hey, put it down. Like, hey, he's the real deal. Like he got Timberland credentials. Like
Yeah,
for
see, I don't went to Timberland. Whoa, that's a nice that's a nice comparison.
oh no. He has credentials. Like
Oh,
he's
okay.
on Timberland's team. Like he's the real deal. Like I'm sorry, Maurice. I was trying to wait for your interview, but I said I was gonna blow you up each time. So
Man, listen, do it.
I absolutely. So thank y'all for listening. If you have not followed us, make sure that you do. And I love you all. Love yourself. Just keep on loving yourself through it all. And until next time, we out.